What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Bailey Canning. I am the CEO of Inbound Web Development. We are a digital studio working exclusively with architecture firms to help them transform their website into the ultimate marketing machine so they can generate inbound project leads, sign their ideal clients, and ultimately grow revenues. In today's video, I just want to give you a quick overview of what you can expect when it comes to pricing out a web design project for your architecture firm, whether we're talking about building a new website from the ground up or redesigning your current website. I'll be discussing the exact cost you can expect to pay, as well as why the cost is what it is, which is basically the process behind the project. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure to stick around for the full video. But before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button to get notified whenever I put out a new video, which I'll be doing every week, going over how to grow your architecture firm with digital marketing. All right, so let's get straight to the point here. Basically, long story short, it's going to cost at least $5,000 to build a new website for your architecture firm. Now, $5,000 is the bare minimum for me and my digital studio, but I've worked for agencies in the past. I'm constantly networking with other freelancers in my industry. And so I would say that roughly speaking, $5,000 is probably a pretty solid industry average you can expect if you're going to be hiring a professional agency, freelancer, consultant, whatever, to design and develop a website for your firm. So $5,000 is the bare minimum you can expect to pay. However, I would say that ideally you'll have the budget of anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 to invest in a brand new website for your architecture firm. That range of $10,000 to $20,000 is pretty much what we need to be able to deliver a full scope of deliverables that are really going to impact the bottom line for your firm so that you can actually start to generate some leads and get some traction with your online marketing efforts. Overall, I would say that price is pretty reasonable. Quite frankly, if your firm lands one project that it wouldn't have otherwise with the new website, it's going to literally pay for itself overnight. I will also say for larger, more established firms that might have several office locations throughout the United States or maybe even overseas in Europe or Asia, generally the cost could, in that case, if we're talking about a large established national firm, we're talking anywhere probably between 25 to 50K, perhaps even more, depending on the final scope of work. So long story short, minimum is $5,000. Ideally, you'll have a budget of anywhere between 10 to 20K to invest in the website. And for larger, more established firms that are going to require a very large website, the cost could be anywhere between $25,000 to $50,000. All right, so now regardless of whatever you think about the numbers I threw out there, you're probably wondering why the cost is what it is, which is a totally fair question. So now I'm going to walk you through my process and what any professional web design process looks so that you can get a sense of all the deliverables that are included and why the cost is what it is. What we're really undertaking whenever your firm hires, whether it's an agency or a freelancer or a consultant, to build a new website, you're really undertaking a very strategic business process, or at least you should be if you want to get the results that you're truly after. So before any designs get produced or any lines of code get written, our team first needs to take the time to learn more about your firm's brand, its history, its ideal clients, the services it offers, and your process, as well as take the time to do some spying on your competition online to see what they're doing well already, which we can emulate, and two, where they're vulnerable. And we need to use this information in the next phase of the project, the strategy phase, to start to put together a unique positioning strategy for your firm that's going to be able to clearly differentiate it from the competition. Once we put in the work to learn more about our client's business as well as the competition, then we take these insights and learnings and build out a custom web design and digital marketing strategy for our clients. What this looks like in practice is we'll build out a complete SEO research sitemap so our clients can see exactly the full SEO potential of their website. And then we also build out a PPC opportunity report. So basically you can see if a Google Ads search campaign would allow your firm to generate leads and experience a high ROI from a digital advertising campaign. We'll then also generally do an offer messaging workshop with our clients to clarify what their unique value proposition is and get super laser focused on who we're trying to reach with this new website. And then finally, we take the time to align on what content we're going to need for this website and what the visual direction is. If this sounds interesting to you, but you think ultimately that the costs I mentioned are too high, then definitely check out our growth marketing roadmap link in the description. It's actually the first step we take with any client. So instead of moving to a full website project, we first do the research and strategy work I just discussed. And then from there, we're able to offer our clients a complete website and marketing game plan, which if they like, we can seamlessly move into the next phase of the project, the design phase of a website project. Or if they think the ultimate cost is going to be too high, there's still a ton that they can use to hire a more cost-effective option for their firm. All right, so once we now have a strategy for the website, we can then move into the next phase of the project, which is going to be the design phase. Now, 3 things I want to talk about here real quick. First of all, when it comes to the design, we also need to talk about the content and copywriting. And one of the unique things with working with us is that we will develop all of the copy for you. And copy is something that should not be overlooked when it comes to designing your website. The copy is going to be the most critical part when it comes to generating leads for your website. We want to have a beautiful website, don't get me wrong, but the words and what's written on the website is ultimately what is going to encourage our prospects and our website visitors to take our desired action, which is going to be to sign up for an initial consultation and become a project lead. So my team and I will handle all of the copywriting for you. This basically removes a ton of work from you and your team's plate, and it also secures the timeline so you can be sure that we're going to deliver the website on time. I've been involved with tons of website projects, both in the agency and consultant space, and tell you content and copy is usually the number one reason why a website project gets delayed. Second, in the design phase, we then start to focus on building out wireframes. Now, there's 2 types of wireframes we build out. We build out UX or user experience wireframes. Think of these as high-level blueprint designs for your website, where basically you're just seeing the layout and content flow as well as the copy for each page of the website. This way, we can get aligned on what content each page is going to have and what its layout is going to be before moving into the next phase, the UI design phase, which is where we'll be taking those wireframes and fully mocking them up to include colors, visual assets, the final fonts, so you can get a 100% realistic preview of what the website is going to look like before we move into the next phase, which is development. Also worth noting that we do include 2 to 3 rounds as standard revisions in this project process, so that is built into the price as well. Once it comes to development, we are very technical with our development and only use the best tools available on the market so that we can deliver the highest quality website to our clients. So what this means is we don't fool around with WordPress themes and just try to customize it to your brand. We don't use something like Elementor, which is a pretty basic tool. Instead, we custom develop every page based on the designs we produced in the last phase of the project. With our favorite web development tool called Webflow, I've made videos on this before on why Webflow is the best website platform for architecture firms, so link in the description to check that out as well if you're interested. Webflow allows us to build any design possible on the web so that your firm can achieve a high-end look online, which is going to be critical for selling its own design services to your prospects and clients as well. We're very technical with our development, like I said, so we go through a thorough SEO, site speed, and accessibility optimization process once we're done designing and developing every page the website is going to feature. Also, at the start of the development process, we'll give you a live URL staging link so that you can check in on the development of the website anytime, so there's complete full transparency there. And finally, once we're ready to go live with the website, right before, we take 1 to 2 days to perform an extensive quality assurance testing process on the website to ensure that it loads super fast, looks great no matter what device is being looked on, and all the SEO, technical, accessibility type things I mentioned are taken care of. Then once we're good, basically we just wait for our clients to give us the go-ahead, and then we go and launch the website. Regarding timeline, we aim to get all that done between 60 to 90 days or 2 to 3 months. This way we can then take the time to do things the right way and not cut corners. But also, we're not going to take 6 to 12 months so we can just get it right and basically treat this thing like a massive art project, because at the end of the day, it is a business project and it needs to produce results for your firm immediately. It's not going to be producing any results until it's live. Couple final key takeaways I want you to have from this video is, first of all, when it comes to building a new website or building out a marketing campaign for your firm, I really highly advise you to not look at this as an expense for your firm, but rather as an investment. So the same way that you might go ahead and buy Apple or Tesla stock in your personal life, you wouldn't necessarily view that as an expense. Rather, you would view that as an investment because you expect in 1, 5, 10 years that you're going to have more money due to that investment. Same thing goes with developing a website for your architecture firm. Maybe it's going to cost $10,000, maybe it's going to cost $30,000. Regardless, as long as you hire a competent professional or agency that knows what they're doing, then the return on investment should far outweigh that by a factor of at least 2 or 3, bare minimum. Marketing for your firm is an investment, not an expense. And quite frankly, the more you invest and the more a scope of work your project has, the better results you can expect to see over the long run. Now, when it comes to the pricing, especially if you're just starting out your firm, like you're the principal owner of a firm, or maybe you're the marketing director of a very small local firm. I'm a business owner, entrepreneur myself. I understand that the cost is real, although it is an investment cost, like I just said. That being said, we do have a couple creative ways we work with our clients if budget is a concern. First of all, what I've been doing with a lot of clients with great success is we've been doing phased website builds. So let's say our client only has the $5,000, which generally is going to be probably a 2 to 3 page website along with a customizable portfolio section. We can do a phase 1 build like that and get those essential pages built out to have an effective marketing presence online. And then let's say in 3 to 6 months or whatever their time frame is, maybe they have another $5,000 to invest in their website. Then we can look into what else can we do with that budget. So that might include building out key service pages, might be building out a custom consultation page with some sort of unique workflow where prospects can automatically book that meeting on their own time. I've had times where this ends up being a 1 to 2 year process where over months or quarters, we're working on phased website builds so that ultimately we can build the most effective marketing machine for our clients. We also get pretty creative in terms of the payment plan. Something I've been experimenting with is if a client has the money right away, they can simply pay in one full payment and get a 10% discount. Conversely, if they don't have the cash on hand, instead they can put this website project on a payment plan, and while they will pay anywhere between 10 to 20% extra over the long run, it's a lot easier for them to finance, I found in my experience. All right, so that's how much a website costs, and I hope that me explaining the process has at least given you some insight into why it costs how much it costs. If you're vetting potential partners to build a website for your firm, definitely vet them on the process, because if they're not including things I'm talking about, then the project effectiveness, number one, is going to be hampered. And number two, there's probably going to end up being some sort of delay, which is ultimately going to add to the cost of the project, although not monetarily, and just in the form of lost business opportunity. If you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Now, if you found this video helpful and you're really interested in building a new or redesigned website for your architecture firm, then definitely book a free strategy call with me. Link in the description. It's a no obligation call, but basically this just gives us an opportunity to learn more about each other and for me to learn a little bit more about your firm and what its marketing goals are so that I can help advise you on building out a marketing game plan to help you achieve those. Like I said, link in the description where you can book a call directly with me. Until next time, I'll see you later. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Peace out.